peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. Please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you like the way that any of the information is being broken down, discussed, reviewed, presented, analyzed, recapped, hit the like button. Leave a comment. I am looking for the feedback or opinions of others. I don't think I know everything. I just was trying to start some conversations with people with mutual interests. And, I needed to, I recently, one show came to a close with HBO's limited series, Mayor of Easttown, starring Kate Winslet. And I instantly needed to, replace it with something. And so I saw a while ago that, what was this? Oh, damn. It was January. But I saw Sanaa Lathan. It was a follow-up article of some kind. But I saw that actress Sanaa Lathan was going to join this series on HBO called Succession. And so I was like, well, let me check out Succession. I'd heard someone else talking about it. In short, Succession appears to me it seems to be HBO's response to the success that Showtime has had with Billions. But the family or the patriarch involved in Succession, Brian Cox, who plays Logan Roy, a different type of, he's not an investment or a hedge fund manager. He's a multimedia mogul or baron, and he has 3 kids. I'll get into all of this in just a second, but I think it's just that focus on like wealthy people and corruption in business and extravagance, power, influence, all of these things. So I saw Sanaa Lathan was joining the show, and I figured, now would be a great time to go back and get up to speed. It's 2 seasons in the can already. Sanaa, another couple of actresses, Linda Iman, I'm not familiar with her, and then a Korean celebrity or actress, Jihae, Jihae. I'm not that familiar. I'm not familiar with that person. They're also joining the show. Jihae will be a public relations consultant. That person is a singer. And then Iman will play Michelle Ann Vanderhoven, a senior White House aide. I'll get to some of this in just a minute. Lathan is going to play a high-powered attorney. So I'm a dude. It's very difficult to try to recap 20 episodes. But I want to come back and give a few words to each character or the primary characters, and why this show has interested me and why I think others will like it. And I'm very interested in seeing Sanaa Lathan get this opportunity. Again, I would like to see Black actors and actresses in different roles, in different kinds of roles, involved in different storytelling and whatnot. So Sanaa has been on a lot of shows. A lot of them haven't worked out. She continues to get looks though, and I think it's an excellent addition to this show, which stars Brian Cox, as I mentioned, as Logan Roy, his children, Jeremy Strong as Kendall, Kieran Culkin as Roman, and then Sarah Snook as Shiobhan or Shiv. And then the brother Connor is Alan Ruck. So I'm going to come in. I'll try to do a quick synopsis, see if I can sell you on the show. Or, if you've been looking for someone to talk about this show. I haven't seen many channels pop up with it. I'm going to dive in after this. The synopsis, or bringing you up to the end of season 2. And honestly, season 2 ends the way season 1 started. Again, Logan Roy is this multimedia CEO. or a CEO of a multimedia, multinational company that does news, uh, travel, entertainment, amusement parks. Uh, and of course, they're being, they have a TV station and they're challenged with things switching to, the apps and and people getting their information from apps versus TV networks and whatnot. So it's a lot of stuff going on here. When we first start here in season one, Logan Roy has a stroke, I believe, is what it was, and it's very odd that a seminal character, a very important character. I don't know if they. It's very weird how they did this part of it, but they spend several episodes with him recovering from this stroke, and it looked like Brian Cox would be on the way out or have a very limited role. But over 6 or 7 episodes, he recovers his strength as Kendall, Jeremy Strong, moves into the acting CEO. And you start to get a sense that Logan Roy is very overbearing. Um, he's very manipulative. He's a killer, as he coins himself at the end of the second season. Is why he tells Kendall that why he can't have the big chair, for lack of a better word, and of course, with the title being Succession, what we get down to is the three kids, Kendall, Roman, and Shiv, are vying to be the CEO. At the beginning of the show, Shiv is she's working in politics and is like a strategist for political figures and whatnot. And then Connor is I don't know what the hell Connor is. In season two, he's actually running. He's putting together a campaign to run for president. But in season one, he's just a wealthy guy from being a part of this family. So, there's some back and forth in season one where Kendall, after briefly assuming the reins, as his father returns, he's trying to convince investors, shareholders, and whatnot that his father, and when his father comes back into the office and back to the business, he wants to make some purchases in like outdated or antiquated media. And so Kendall was like, we need to be moving forward. I need to be in charge so we can avoid this, and we need to move into the future. And he's clearly compromised due to his health issues. Let's get him out of here. But Logan fights back, assumes or reassumes control of the company, and kind of sends Kendall spiraling into drug abuse, which is part of his past. He's divorced, and that's a major rivalry, is Kendall and Logan, because Kendall apparently has some good business acumen and can do the job, but Logan is impossible to please. Roman, played by Kieran Culkin, he's wants to be like the COO, Chief Operating Officer, and then Shiv is kind of monitoring things, but she has some game too, for lack of a better word. Shiv's husband Tom works for the company. It's called Waystar Royco, I think. And then there's another family member, a nephew, I think a nephew of Logan Roy, Greg, who's played by Nicholas Braun. Greg is a very interesting character. And then from there, you get into these different members of the hierarchy, the highest of the hierarchy. You kind of get into some different figures there. So that's what the synopsis is the three kids basically wrangling to please their father, to be considered to be the successor to him. And then Roman is more of a screw up. He was he had some stuff. He was mistreated and abused or something as a kid. He has some issues with his sexuality, uh, and he's a mess. But in the second season, he starts putting things together and looking at himself as a potential CEO as well, and that's that. So getting into season 2, just to close off this synopsis and kind of bring you up to speed on season 2, they tried to, well, Logan is firmly in control of the organization, but he's trying to purchase this other news company called Pierce. He's set on purchasing them as a sign to reassure the shareholders that he's his old self and that the company is safe with him. And he needs to get this done so that he can keep control of the company from 2 other individuals that Kendall brought into play and gave up some equity in the in season 1 when he was trying to kick his father out the door. So he took this money, from these investors, and they hang around in season 2. And that's what Logan is trying to bring in this other, make this acquisition to force these guys back to a lesser powerful position in steering the company. And along the way, Kendall is trying to play along. He's trying to recover from his drug situation. Roman is showing additional skills and know-how and showing that he's more in tune with with running the business, the day-to-day, than what he gave off initially. And then Shiv is actually offered a job to be the successor, and she gets screwed because her father goes in another direction and wants to bring in Holly Hunter, who he meets while trying to make the purchase from of Pierce. And so as we get to season 2, an issue that had been lingering from season 1, when Shiv's husband was running amusement parks, and the cruise segment of the business, a guy that retired in like the first 3 or 4 episodes, he tells Shiv's husband, Tom, I got a lot of bodies buried in this area. I can just go on and retire and let you take this file and you do what you want to do with it. I would suggest you not to open it, not to read it, but it is here. And he thought he got rid of it, tried to destroy documents, yada, 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 and make it go away. But in season 2, this resurfaces. The Roy family is called in front of Congress, and it's making matters worse for Logan Roy, as this cover-up, this scandal could be the type of thing that removes him from the CEO seat. And so the intriguing and one of the most appealing parts of the show is that Logan has to make this cold-hearted decision. He realizes he's in a bind, and he says he has to make a blood sacrifice to make this go away. So one thing in the show that you notice is, because Logan is such a tyrant, nobody knows what saying anything is going to lead to. Is he going to like it? Is he going to hate it? Is there going to be some retribution for saying it? So everybody kind of says these things and then immediately says, but I don't know. Or what do you think? Or this is what I think, but of course I'm open to your spin on it or your thoughts on it. Nobody knows how to act around him because he's so overbearing and manipulative. And anyway, one of the best scenes in the show is maybe in the season 2 finale. They're sitting around this dinner table. The scale of the show and all the opulence and the yachts and the car service, the security, travel, the getaways that they have, the retreats that they have, this wedding that they have for Shiv and Tom is over the top, all of that stuff, and then New York City is the backdrop. All of that stuff is phenomenal. But at the in the season 2 finale, they have this round table for breakfast, and they've done these gatherings a couple of times at this point, several times at this point, and each person goes around and just says why so and so, this individual should be the scapegoat, why this person should take the fall. And as they work their way around the table, it becomes apparent that it's going to be Kendall. He's going to have the most impact. And then Logan calls him into, his private suite or whatever on this yacht. They're overseas somewhere traveling. And he tells him, basically, I'm going to tie this up as a bow around your neck. You have deniability, plausible deniability up to here, but you were over parks and cruises in your role that you had at the time. You're insulated by what you don't know to a degree, but we need to give you up as a sign of good faith and doing the right thing. And so Kendall agrees to do it. He had a good idea that it was coming to him. And then where the season closes off at as a hell of a cliffhanger is, instead of when he's flown back to New York and prepped and go sending here before the media to sacrifice himself, he changes up everything and says that his father, as much as that he runs the ship with the iron hand, there's no way in hell that all of this stuff was going on, sexual harassment, deaths were occurring on the ships, overboard situations, that there was no attempt for rescue, sex for promotion, all types of stuff was going on. He's like, no way none of this stuff, payouts were made, people were paid to be quiet, NDAs, sign, all kind of stuff. He's like, no way any of this stuff happened and my father didn't know about it. And he was like, in the future, I will provide you all of the details about this. Stay tuned. And then it goes off. And then as the closing scene, Logan is sitting there. It's almost like he admires his son for challenging him in this way. He screws him because this shareholders meeting was like in the next 24, 48 hours or something. So he's put him in a very compromised position. But he's like, and the thing is, Logan had just told him, after he told him he had to take the fall, Kendall was like, do me this one favor and just let me know, do you think I could have done the job? And he tells him, you weren't a killer. You aren't a killer. You know all these different moves and you know your stuff, but you're not a killer. And that's why I can't give it to you. But he tried to give it to Shiv. And then he's even warmed up on giving it to Roman. And then he had actually named Holly Hunter, her name is Rhea Jarrell. He actually named her an outsider of the CEO before she walked, after this scandal came up about what happened 20 years ago with the cruise segment, the cruise line. So that's kind of bringing you full speed. I'm going to come back and try to talk through at least 6 of the characters, just my thoughts on why this character is so interesting to follow and well handled by the actor or actress.